Hi, this is number 12 in a series of videos about how Christians should view the Jewish people. And in our last study, we were looking at whether the Old Testament says that the Jewish people are the chosen people. And in this short study, we're going to look at whether the New Testament actually states that the Jewish people are God's chosen people. Stephen Sizer says that the New Testament never mentions the Jews are the chosen people. Well, the question I want to ask is the New Testament silent about the Jews being the chosen people? The objection, I think, is a smokescreen. It's very much like those people, the Jehovah's Witnesses and others who say, where did Jesus ever say that he was God? Well, if he has all the titles of God, if he speaks like God, if he does what only God can do, that's a pretty safe indication that he's God. Actions speak louder than words. Jesus didn't need to declare his deity any more than the Queen of England or the President of the United States needs to be constantly reminding us of their status. So there may not be an explicit statement in the New Testament that the Jewish people are still the chosen people of God, but the evidence is clearly there. Just think of Matthew chapter 2 verse 6, where it refers to Bethlehem in the land of Judah. From you shall come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. That's a New Testament verse. Or take Luke chapter 2 verse 32, the words of Simeon, when he speaks of the infant Jesus as being a light to lighten the Gentiles and the glory of God's people Israel. There is a statement from somebody in the New Testament. It's not a quotation from an Old Testament text, but it's a statement from somebody in the New Testament that Israel is God's people. In Acts chapter 3 verse 25, the Apostle Peter is addressing a crowd of Christ-rejecting Jewish people, and this is what he says to them. You are the sons of the prophets and of the covenant that God made with your fathers, saying to Abraham, and in your offspring all the families of the earth shall be blessed. God, having raised up his servant, sent him to you first to bless you. In Romans chapter 9 verse 33, as part of his argument that the Jewish people have not been rejected by God, Romans chapter 9 verse 3 following says, to them, to the Jewish people, to Israel, belong, present tense, belong the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the Torah, the worship, the promises. To them belong, present tense, the patriarchs, and from them, according to the flesh, is the Messiah, who is God over all, blessed forever. Later on in Romans chapter 11, verses 28 and 29, Paul says, as regards the gospel, they are enemies for your sake, but as regards election, they are beloved for the sake of the fathers, for the gifts and calling of God are irrevocable. The election there is God's choosing of the people of Israel. God elected them to be his people. And Paul talks of election, the election of Israel, in the present tense. God called Israel because he chose to, not because they were worthy, and he will not revoke his call or his gifts that is bestowed on them. Therefore, according to Romans chapter 2 verse 9, tribulation and distress are for every human being who does evil, the Jew first. As we've said before, with great privilege comes great responsibility, and even though they still are the people of God, he will punish them, and that's why we must take the gospel to them. And that's why Amos chapter 3 verse 2 says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. The reason why the gospel, although it's the power of God for the salvation of everyone believes, is it's to the Jew first. Does the New Testament teach the Jewish people are still the chosen people? You bet it does.